Hey everybody, it's Greaseball here, and today I'm going to be covering the tournament-winning Muxus deck, aka Sorin Storm, aka Turbo Necro Sorin. Um, I think logically, Sorin Storm probably makes the most sense in like describing the name of the deck, and it's a bit easier to say than Turbo Necro Sorin, and people kind of agreed with that. But I think colloquially, we kind of all refer to it as the Muxus deck. I think because the name was like a bit iffy to begin with, and it was just easier to call it Muxus deck, so that's kind of what everyone in the Discord has been referring to it as. It's just kind of the new fast mana hotness that's involving Necro and Dark Ritual. You have all your fast mana. Grief kind of acts like that with Sacrifice. You have, your tutors here. You have your 8 Necro. You have Sorin Alinda, right? Your actual Storm Kill, Siege Father, and then you like kind of like start going, and then this is just kind of your mana. I think the only change list, and this will probably be updated at some point, is I'm running a Boggart Trawler over Academ's Awakening, just because the Academ's Awakening has not come up yet. And Boggart Trawler, the use case for it has come up a few times, just in terms of like enabling a low material sacrifice if you have like a bag necro or something. Also just be able to block with it sometimes, or if you're in a really slow game against like show and tell where they've commandeered a dark ritual or just something silly, it is something that you can attack with post board a bit more in certain matchups. um, Sideboard is your anti-hate is Fragment Reality, specifically for Deafening Silence. Your fourth ley line, March for your specifically like Mardu Energy, Gemstones for when you're on the draw, Duresses for certain combo matchups, and Blue Black Opposition Agent for mainly Show and Tell, and Shadow Mortality mainly for Mardu Energy, to get like bigger storm count in combo off through that. Because your Sorin Alinda is just not as good versus Mardu Energy because they have so much interaction and Guide Pride, all that energy nonsense, right? But yeah, this has been a really cool deck. I've been playing it a lot. Muxus has been backseating me quite a bit. I'm gonna try and show a lot of optimal lines. I think you don't have to like exactly get the necro counts correct in terms of what you like doing. If I necro for 12 and you would have necroed for 14, or necroed for 11, it's not that big of a deal. I think it's more so like if you can figure out the mulligans, and understand the stormline as well, I think you've captured like 95% of the power of the deck. And yeah, there's no video or gameplay on it right now, and so that's mainly what I want to do. If Muxus could do it, he would do it. He can't, so I'm kind of next up in it, in terms of necro piloting. And he's backseated me quite a bit, and so I at least have a feel for like the lines that he likes. Sometimes he wants to call to necro a bit less. Sometimes I call to necro for a bit less. It really depends. But yeah, I'm really excited to get some gameplay in with this deck and kind of showcase it. I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's really interesting, and yeah. So we're gonna take out the Muxus slash Sorin Storm deck for a spin. Right, we don't have any turn 1 plays. We don't have any turn 2 plays. This is easy mole. Same thing. We're gonna go to 5. Gonna be seeing this quite a bit. It would be lovely if we could keep good 7s the whole set, but yeah, that's fine. Gonna mull this again. And we keep. Look, we got there. Looky. Whoopee whoopee. Put bad necro away. Put bad sacrifice away. We're just gonna keep the ley line. Why not? You generally have like it's around like 82% to have a turn 1 necro of some sort or Sorin Alinda. I think probably be going to 5 here. Uh, yeah. We're on the play. We got a ley line. Like we're pretty safe. You could actually argue for going to 4 again. And again, it doesn't super matter. Like this is not an exact thing. Yeah. And then I know Muxus likes to advise to sort cards in the order that you get them and which ones you want. I kind of wanted all these so far. We don't want that. We don't want these two. Okay, so we don't want these three for sure. And then we probably don't want Swamp. Actually, I think we might want Swamp just in case they have like a weird start, and then or like a prison start. And then I'll go ahead and pitch one Besiege. I think is what I'm looking at. Um, Sometimes you kind of have to decide if you want to start like you have a long term like hard castle into plan. This is usually post board. But so other than that, you don't use white mana game one. Okay, and we kept the grief, so that's good. We're leading on the grief. You don't have to full control this. Okay, they show some cards. We're really only a little bit afraid. The One Ring is actually like annoying to play through, I think. So let's not. And green black basically just auto loses to Sorin at this point. They only have fail pushes. They basically kind of need like running Gargoyles and stuff, and it's not happening this game for them. Yeah, 100 degrees. Boarding in. When we're on the draw, we add in gemstones, and if we don't need the white mana, we cut concealed courtyards. Against green black, since they have like grief reanimate discard stuff, we bring in force ley line over the dark petition. And notably for all this sideboarding stuff, I'm just going basically directly 1-to-1 off of Muxus's primer, which I'll link in the description. Okay, this is too slow. We kind of do want to prioritize a ley line if we can. No, that's okay. This is a slower 5. You could definitely like off of this. This is a turn 2 necro. It might be a bit too slow, honestly. But I think we will just keep. You could argue to mull this because it's a faster matchup, but I'll just keep just to show you. Like I think this is like probably an okay keep. Not my favorite keep, but we're on a 5. I mean, we're about like 40% on a mull to about 42% on a mull to 4 or 3 to get a turn 1 necro. So we'll pitch back this. We'll probably keep all our lands, honestly. Okay. And we're probably getting grief scammed if they kept a 7. That's usually how this works. Yeah, right on time. So I guess like in this case, our better 4s would have had to literally be Black Source Ritual Necro, I think. With the ley line. Right? I'm saving the Fel just in case we draw like a ritual. I think it's probably worth Fel the Profaning the Bargoyf at this point. But we also played this, so This game's gonna be pretty over. He did have, okay, they did have the reanimate some capacity. Yeah, and this game is like really over. Okay, we'll just get out of here. I'll come back from that. Okay, this is too slow. This is fine. This is great. All right, we'll put the land back. This is everything we want. And you generally are going to want to keep ritual over sacrifice. I mean, pretty much always, because it only takes one card slot versus like for sacrifice, you need the grief and the black card to pitch grief. So it's a 3 card. This like takes 3 cards, versus ritual only taking 1, right? So generally you're going to prioritize keeping rituals over sacrifices, especially on like turn 1. But really, just ritual is just a better card than sacrifice. Is the point. Oh God. Okay, what a rat. Yeah, this is a start of all time, huh? They kind of have to pitch one. Can I beat? I'm just gonna get them to. You can either take the reanimate or the disruptor flute here. Um. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take the. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take the reanimate here. But you could argue for taking disruptor flute. If they name disruptor flute, if they name Sorin with disruptor flute, it's really annoying. But I also don't want to get griefed multiple times. But it's like very committal and it's very slow. Actually, I think disruptor flute is a bit scarier. That was a close decision. I don't know if it was correct. And because I know I'm getting grief scam, I'm probably just gonna draw like 6 cards. So that I can make like land drop. Because all my hands basically gonna go away anyways. So I'm not like too concerned about like if I go really deep, I'm kind of just letting them pick like I'm kind of just running out of gas a bit too early in the game. With this play, they're kind of forced like grief or like double grief. And I am gonna get some play. Like they're gonna have to spend a lot of material trying to get this like turn set up with like grief and all and the reanimate and all that. Right. Okay. Yeah, they might just spin their whole hand here, honestly. Wait, what? This is a little. Oh, he's just gonna hardcast grief. Okay, I see. Okay, and we can definitely play through this. Yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of reasonable lines here. Okay, they just give up. Yeah, yeah. That's fair. Okay. Mickey W is lethal. I don't know how they pronounce their name. They're kind of an active ladder player. Another thing you're gonna see me do is if I get to do this, if I don't get grief or anything, I will be pitching. You generally almost always play your Kermox out, just to save hand slots. Because again, it's kind of like this the sacrifice thing, where sacrifice takes 3 cards. To like use Kermox takes 2. So if you can put it down while you can just develop your mana and save up on hand slots for your Necros. Okay, we're leading off on grief scam. So Our hand is actually like kind of decent against grief. They might just commit on taking the fast mana. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, so they're gonna take the mana and not the Necros, which I think is a reasonable play on their part. Um, I'm actually gonna wait, because now I actually have like resilience to this. I also was considering holding this anyways because if they did have a like reanimate, I didn't want to exile a Necro and then they can just take my last Necro, right? This looks like a reanimate troll line. Yeah. Okay. I'm probably gonna go pretty deep here. They spent most of their hand. They didn't pause like they had another grief. I'll probably go to 8 to play around exactly Bowmasters. Um, yeah. Basically want to get a Sorin Alinda down. We can hardcast Fell the Profane next turn too if we have to. Um, so we'll see. We'll see what comes up. Sorry about any lag. I'm playing on a Mac. It is rough. Mm, I can probably keep another land. No, I am keeping another land. Okay. I think over Vault I will keep a Courtyard. I don't see this game lasting that long, but we already have 3 black, and we already have like plenty of besiege material. Also, something that's kind of interesting is, especially against strip mine decks, it's easier for them to interact with Vault of Whispers than it is your Chromox. So you generally besiege away your land, which is a bit different for sure. Generally these lists don't play Bolt, but because they play Fatal Push. If I get bolted, I get bolted, you know. Okay, that is probably lights out. They had that. I guess we do have some storm lines that kind of work a little bit. Uh, we'll see, but this is not a good spot for sure. I don't think we have outs to this. I think if they just take the Dark Petition, we're dead. I don't think we had anything else to play into. Yeah. I don't think this is a tough line. But I also don't think they can pick a card that loses here. Generally, you want 2 tutors. Or like like Sorin Alinda and a tutor or something, right? But we just didn't hit. And we got griefed on the draw, and they had enough pressure to where we had to draw a bit less, kind of thing. I think we're dead. I don't see a way out of this. I think think we're dead. Do we have any odds whatsoever? No, there's no. No, there's not. Okay. Here. The game. From the play. Unfortunately, so. Our sideboarding plan again. We're against another grief scam deck. It's fine. Okay, we can't keep this. Okay, this should be like a pretty straightforward win. They can't beat this, especially on the draw. Or like I mean they can't beat this, honestly. And you generally will Sorin Alinda before you Necro, unless it's like a very specific scenario, like they have like if it's like if you're on the draw against Mardu or something and they specifically have like an Arid Mesa up or something, generally turn one Necro Sorin is or turn one Sorin Alinda is your best play. Especially against like especially pretty much every matchup except energy, and then it's still like maybe slightly better against energy. But it's like more of a decision for sure. Maybe it's a bit worse against like subtlety and subtlety decks and decks with solitude, right? Decks with solitude aren't super popular right now, at all in the meta right now. But something to keep in mind. Usually Sorin Island is the go-to. Okay. I would actually be really open to taking like a slow necro hand here against a slow like a turn 2 necro with Leyline. I almost like a bit more than I do a turn 1 necro on the draw, but we'll see. All right, and we're priced in anyways, so we're keeping this shit. So what we're up to. We have to keep this. I can't be talking out of keeping this, honestly. Red source, huh? Wait, we're actually really happy with this. Holy. All right, glad we didn't mold this. Okay, we were gonna hide. Okay, yeah, it's gonna come up now, right? So here. I think we are gonna pitch. Are we? Probably gonna pitch a Beseech to Sorin. We might not. You could argue for either. I'm probably gonna pitch. Yeah. This is close, but I think Sorin will win if it connects. And we are gonna be a bit shorter on mana necessarily, so I'm gonna do this. So because this artifact land is easier to interact with than the Chromox, we are gonna sacrifice the artifact land, Vault of Whispers. And they are not repping a lot of damage. So I might just like go to like, but they are likely to draw into discard too at the same time. So it's a little tricky. I might just go to like, I might just draw like 12. See how this plays out. They're very like likely to draw into like grief or something reasonable. But I guess they don't have red mana or they don't have black mana yet, which is kind of good for us. I might I'm gonna go to 7. It doesn't, again, it doesn't matter too much, but um, we'll just play it like this. I'm trying to think about playing through like one grief. I think is what I'm looking at. With this here, I probably am erring towards the swamp. Okay, this is good. We can maybe keep the Tindies. We might keep double grief. I don't really. Okay, Chromox we need for our Sorin. I think we like, instead of the Beseech, I think we do want to keep double Sorin Olinda. We can. Oh, and I did the flip. Okay. Sorin Olinda. Chromox. We probably just want to get another land down. Their courtyard. The issue is if we go Sorin Olinda again, it's we are more likely to just take the grief, and then the grief might kill us. But we'll see. Also, if they take the Chromax, it's really bad. This line is probably a bit loose, but we'll see. Like, you could argue for taking like a land over Beseech, or just saying, hey, double Sorin Olinda is not happening. I think the way that the timing is going to work is, I think if they don't grief us this turn, like if they don't grief us this turn, like we clearly win. I don't know if we could win through a grief with what we exiled. Maybe like a tendrils and like a land over that. Oh, this might be a grief hardcast. A little scary. That would be bad. Okay. Don't have it. They might just be representing the Oppo agent here. Or it might just be it might just be a flute, and then if it's a flute, we kind of die. Can I beat flute at all at this point? I probably can't. I probably can't beat a flute with my current hand. I'm gonna be honest. And they just pitched two Oppo agents, so like they might just have the Oppo agent too. So I am gonna pitch this Beseech. Assuming that, like, I don't believe that they would just pitch two Oppo agents, honestly. So this might be, they might have flute and Oppo agent here, honestly. Okay, so they probably just are leaving up an Oppo agent. And I'm gonna get a cleric because I think they do have an Oppo agent. Some of these lists play Edict. Okay, they don't have the Edict, so I imagine they're flashing in an Oppo agent at end of turn or killing this Linda. I guess I don't really need a draw here, honestly. I'm trying to think of what they can have, and it's like removal into Bombard. They could have a Bombard Bomba in their range, realistically. Land's really good. Okay, they have a Bowmasters. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and attack with the Alinda. Get my life gain on. I guess it. Hmm. I guess I'm worried about this line is if I give them a reanimate target for Alinda, it's actually kind of bad. Now that I'm thinking of it. Um, but I need that Kiki Jiki gone, I think. So we're gonna play it like this. Okay, and I think I am gonna keep the Fel the Profane in hand at this point. I think so. It opens up a siege. Maybe I want the mana. No, I guess I'm not worried about their creatures too much at this point because I also do have that spare Linda. Um, yeah, I'm not double lending here because I realize reanimate is a greater threat than everything else that they could have. All right, we gotta win. That's cool. Okay, there's a mole. If we had a black source, this would be keepable. Yeah, it'd just be a turn one necro if it has black source, right? Um, this is also not keepable. Oh. Okay, we did it. Yay. This is one of the best fours in the format. They might concede to hide their hand at this point, honestly. Unless they're no, they don't have a companion, so it's probably not energy. And they didn't pause for solitude, so if they have a swords, we might have a game. We'll see. Nope, they don't. Okay. Then they're on. Then we put them on. Don't tell. So this is kind of like a common line. Is you kind of want to just go ahead and start bolting them. With Horn. Take them off. So now if they fetch shock, and put into play Atraxa, uh, Alinda will kill them. Or I can kill them with my Sorin trigger, right? Okay, and they died. Because they didn't immediately concede, and they're companionless, and they had a breeding pool. I think this is very clearly show and tell. And if it's not show and tell, I'm a lot less worried about it. But I think this is show and tell. So start with our gemstones. and take out our ley lines, take out petition. I know all the dresses come in, all the opposition agents come in. We do take out a tendrils, and we also take out an additional land. So I think usually those, and then our opposition agents come in, dresses come in. Tendrils is not very good because they do have veil, and but it is just because you run 4x besiege. It is nice to have access to tendrils when it does matter. And I think we're good. You could probably cut another land. Like you could probably just cut MDC over this land. It doesn't matter too much. I kind of like, yeah, I think this is fine. That's literally fine. But yeah, and again, I'm using the sideboard guide from Muxus's primer. I'll link directly to the primer. Be good. I also do really recommend playing this deck with untapped, so that you can see everything in your hand. I think that is like very important. Okay, this is turn 1 Necro with I think it has a grief backup. I'm not 100% sure. I think that's it. Put the Sorin under here. We kind of don't have the grief backup. I think we will just be jamming the turn 1, huh? And I am going to keep the grief though. But yeah, we're jamming here. If they have a commandeer, they have a commandeer. It is what it is. If we drew a black card, we could have led on grief, but we didn't. So this doesn't matter too much. But I think just out of good habits, let's pitch the vault. And they didn't pass party back like they had a commandeer. But they might have it. If they have it, they have it. Okay, they do have the commandeer. Which they did in Moltorts. Yeah. There's an argument to try and slow play there. Yeah. But it's also, okay, it's not the worst. It's really bad, actually. I'm coping. It's really bad. But we can jam, like if we draw like another Necro, like we can just jam at that. We're probably doing that with an Oppo agent too. So we'll see. We'll see. It's a little terrifying. We have a ritual where we're casting the grief for sure. We're very behind. We're probably going to lose this game. They also could have just waited for us to put the Necro on the stack. But I guess at some point we could actually maybe just put the grief in. This is all pretty bad. I think it's really hard for them to break with the Ponder. Um, I'm going to go ahead and hardcast this and get their mana drain out to actually free up any other draws. Like another grief or something like that. If they draw, I mean, if they draw action here, we're just always dead, right? So. Our game is very much on rails. Brainstorm, okay, that's probably bad. That's probably bad. We're probably dead now. They only see 3 new cards out the stock up, but they're seeing enough that I think we're dead. Okay, if they show me, okay, they did not show me a kill. How many commandeers do they have left? Um, did they draw a commandeer? If they didn't, how cheeky is this, huh? So this loses to like commandeer anvil if we go for the tendril line. They like really don't have shit, huh? They had 1 commandeer. They clearly don't have anything. So it's like a question of like how likely do we think they are to brick versus, and they are brainstorm locked, right? Huh. This is really interesting. I think like they're likely to have a commandeer or a veil here. Like actually, um, I'm them. They have to fetch. Um, so the play is I either don't DT at all. Yeah, it's either I don't DT at all. I like it. I mean, they're definitely on 4 commandeers. I think it is likely they kept a commandeer or just a reactive spell. And then if I sacrifice and commit to this, they'll sign and they have a veil. Like we're definitely dying. So I am gonna pass, even though it feels weird. Like I know we have a line where we can demonic tutor, or we can demonic tutor for tendrils, right? But I don't know if it's good. You could also like, yeah, I think it gets commandeered. Is my line of thinking, and then it also loses the veil. So they have like basically 7 cards that can kill us, because we know a veil's still gone. This is a very conscious decision. I see the line of like tendrils and even just like opposition agent, but if it gets commandeered, we lose. So I'm sticking with it. They clearly didn't have action last turn, and so it suggests that they have something either like a bunch of lands and it's flood, or they have something reactive. And like I think they're jamming anyway, so I don't think it makes sense to like bluff opposition agent here. Also, my Mac is humming, so sorry about this. And the fun part is, if this decision was correct, we'll never know what they had, right? I guess we could have actually had a line where we led on Chromox, and you could see if they had anything in response, right? So this is actually like something we could have done. So we could have just like led on this. Okay, and they do have, yeah, and they do have like a commandeer or something in response. So we could have actually like done this kind of like arena check, and it's clear that they have something, right? So we actually did get to find out, so that's cool. And I didn't want to cast a black spell because if they have Veil, they could draw into like waterlogged teachings or something too, right? All right, nice. That's a good win against Show and Tell. Very weird game. I mean, maybe could have played a bit more patiently, knowing that they also like mull to a 5, right?